Hey, I hope that you're doing wonderful and that everything has been awesome in your life and in your day. I just, I just got caught by the thought that we live in a very, very random world, and everything we have as information and knowledge is fed to us, it's given to us. So when you actually understand the the whole fact of life that everything is created in certain laws and certain principles that can never be broken. And understanding these laws is your salvation because knowledge is power. So having knowledge of the laws and of the balances of of how this world is constructed, this will give you an understanding of what the world is all about. So having the abstract thought, the abstract idea of your own abilities and capabilities will give you the basis on which every idea will have its roots, its grounding, its compost, and its composure. So your composition, your posture is so important in how your ideas unfurl. So understanding that your mind is capable of doing anything, and this is where everything is. This is the part of you that gives you consciousness, and with consciousness you gain knowledge. So understanding that your mind is where it's all at, that's where everything is happening, is to know that you have the ability to change your ideas and to change your thoughts and to change your mind, unlike so many other things in creation. Like a tree can't change its mind, it's just programmed like that. But when you have the human mind, you have everything and all things that are capable of being in there. And this is why I actually want to live a life of livity. This is the life that gives you vitality or itality. And livity is living life by being alive, which is having knowledge of consciousness. So you have consciousness and knowledge, but you also need to have knowledge of your consciousness. Knowledge of your consciousness is wisdom, because knowledge of your consciousness will stop you from doing certain things. Knowledge of your consciousness is only there to tell you about the bad things. This is why knowledge is a burden. Because when you have knowledge of consciousness, since you're conscious, you can't do certain things to other conscious people, other conscious things if you're conscious. And your awareness of consciousness will give you an idea of what is conscious and what is not conscious, what is truly conscious. So it's all a reflection of how your mind perceives it. You might actually see a tree as being conscious and speak to it and tell it never to bear fruit again because of your level of consciousness and knowledge. And you might actually talk to a mountain and tell itself to uproot itself because of your level of consciousness. But for someone, the level of consciousness will only allow them a certain amount of power, because this is how knowledge is power. So this power works according to how you are programming it. So everything in life is a program, and everything is like just like that. Like it's like life is an algorithm, and the creation of the algorithm is Adam and Eve, which is 0 and 1, which is odd and even, which is 1 and 2, 0, 1, 2. So life is an algorithm, and in this sense, we have Adam, Eve, and the tree, 1, 2, and 3. But through this, we only have these two people in all of creation, and these two people create more people. They actually first create two more people. This is a reflection of them. So they are two, and they create Cain and Abel. And through this, they have all of these people who are just coming out of them, because this is like the matrix. So this is like the program. So understanding 1 and 1 is Adam, and Eve is 2, the evening. So when the devil came to Eve, it was in the evening. So he came in the subtle night. and through this it just affected Adam, because that is the way that the world is just programmed, that two comes after one. So Eve was able to decipher because she has two, so she has a circle. So this circle gives her the ability to re to regenerate life, and through this she's using these numbers like one sperm, one egg, one and one. It's creating the whole cipher, the whole cycle. So when they are mating, this is a matrix with one sperm and one egg. This is one, which is actually where in Eve both of the two become one and create three. But this three is still one because this three is on its own. This three can be one or one because it can be like one boy or Cain and Abel, twins, and we have a lot of twins. So this is how they were mating, and this is how they met. And through this, they were just creating all of these complex algorithms. So every person is just like created in this algorithm. So you come like in this algorithm, like everything is just set up like that. So nature is like this super duper dope computer, and it actually runs on these numbers. So like, all right, like there's this story they tell about this woman named Lilith, who used to be Adam's wife, and this is probably folklore or something, but this is a story that speaks about this woman who was Adam's first wife or whatever. And I think this story is just talking about Adam on his own, because when you look at Lilith, the name, it's just a series of ones. When you look at Lilith, it's nothing but ones. So what they say. So what they say in this story is that Lilith and Adam were supposed to be a perfect happy couple, but then they weren't a perfect happy couple because Lilith would not. So this is Lilith. Alright, I just wrote this with my left hand, so it's a bit sketchy. But then if you look at the name of Lilith, what you just have are just these ones, these strokes. It's just one, all the way. And since life is an algorithm, it needs it just needs a separation. So it needs this in order to have this matrix, right? So the thing that happened is that Adam is the same thing, because Adam is odd. Odd means not even. So Adam was just the same as Lilith, because they were created he, them, right? But it didn't work out because they are the same thing, because Adam is just these ones, odd. Lilith is supposed to be even, the two or the ones, but Lilith is just these, the same type. So when Adam suggested that they create an algorithm so that she should move down, so that there can be a distinction between Adam and that other entity, it was impossible because this program this program couldn't actually lie down. So she couldn't lie, which is how she was just like Adam. Adam is adamant, she was adamant, so they were two alike. But Eve was the exact same as Adam, but she was the exact opposite. So this is how Eve has two, and Eve was able to actually think over things. This is why she was the one targeted with temptation. But Adam was adamant; he would not not lie down, right? So when Adam told her, like, hey, Lilith, lie down, that's when it was all broken off. So this is just a folklore. This is what people talk about. And in the creation story, it's Adam and it's Eve, and it's one and it's two. And through this, they have a perfect difference in similarity. And this is how they're able to mate. And through all of this, we have nature. We have all the algorithms in nature, and all of these are programs. It's like a matrix because everything is mating and creating more codes, and through this we have more people, more Adams and Eve, more ones and twos, ones and twos, ones and twos, more and more and more, and this is how you enter like the Matrix. This is how like the Matrix movie has these people who have a computer program that's controlling everything. So this is just how it is, and in an extent that's why a movie is so sensational because it's talking about this. So when you have the understanding of your own vitality, of your own livity, what ends up happening is that you will live your life as you're supposed to live your life, in truth, in righteousness, as you're supposed to be. And through this, your future, your unknown future, will always be bright. Because when you look at an algorithm, what you're looking at is something that really doesn't know what's going to happen, but then there's a high probability that something's going to happen. So this is how algorithms work. And certain things in nature, the universal laws are universal. So this is how life is just different. But when you look at the way that the ancient Africans used to look at life, they actually were the first people who coded the binary system through an algorithm that is derived from nature. So these people were able to understand things just like a computer algorithm, but through the mind. So this was the first algorithm, and through this they had a matrix. So this matrix was because of the matron, like the material, the matter, or the mother, and through this they were able to actually know things because the woman, the mother, was the first person who was able to count. She was the first person who was able to keep count. So this person was keeping the metrics, and she was the matrix. And through this, she was able to know from how many children she has. So she has to count them. Man just makes them. He doesn't need to do anything after that. Like, men don't really go down deep like that. But then she had to count them. She had to make sure that all of them ate. So then she was counting them. Like, all right, this one, this one, this one. So it ended up becoming the names and everything. So this is how Eve is the mother of all living, not Adam. And this is why the seed in Genesis is going after Eve. It's going after the woman. It's not going after Adam. And this is why the angel didn't go to Joseph to say that you shall have a child called Emmanuel. The angel went to the woman. Whatever society was, the woman was seen to be inferior, but the angel needed the woman, not the man. Didn't even like the Joseph's genealogy is a matter of convenience to just see the unending break, but the true genealogy was the woman's genealogy because they needed the matrix, so they needed the mating trick. So they needed the metrics. Then those numbers, those were important. So through this, the women were the ones who were able to count. So they used to count, and through this, like, it actually emerged from women knowing their menstrual cycles. So through this, this is the evening. This is Eve, and the moon is at night. So this is the understanding of Adam and Eve. Adam is the sun. Eve is the moon. Sun is soul, and moon is mon. So this is the understanding of Solomon. So this is how he had so many women, so many matrices. So he was having so many tricks, mating tricks. So they were able to count, right? because they were able to realize these cycles. So women have this understanding. They had to prophesy. They had to think ahead because they know certain things would happen on a certain date with a high probability. And if certain things don't, like, so they had this energy, this power, and through this is Eve. Eve was able to think over things. This is why she was targeted by that serpent, not the adamant. The adamant is just straight lines, like, all right, this and that means this, and yes, that is it. So we have components of both in every person. We have our father in us and our mother in us. In fact, we have so many fathers and so many mothers because throughout the generations, they've all been within us. So this is how people are actually suffering for Adam's sin, even though he's so way back, like, yeah, so way back. But this is still the sin in the fallen world because it comes from this father. It comes from this matrix. It's the algorithm. So there's something that happened to the algorithm. So it's very important, or like 100% important, for everyone to understand their own algorithm, their own balances, their own counts, and to live in livity. So this is why it's so important to live in love, to live in truth, because when you understand that everything is a matrix and an algorithm, then everything is mating or having sex, and to have sex is to make love. So when you're living in love, it means that you're understanding this knowledge, livity, itality, and just knowing the science of life. Science just means knowledge. So just having this knowledge, since we already, like, that tree was a scientific tree in the garden. And this science was the knowledge of good, the knowledge of evil. But the science is how we're now supposed to live with the knowledge that is of life and death, which is to give life, which is to also take life, Cain and Abel. So this is the knowledge that we actually have, that our tongues and all of these things are part of this program, part of this algorithm. And through understanding that our words are creative, our actions are creative, and our thoughts are creative, then we're able to master certain things that are mastering us, because it's just a matter of on or off. It's just one or two. This is just how the world works. It's all or nothing. So this is how Joshua would say, like, make your decision. Like, are you for God or against God? So this is why it's binary. It's really binary. So it's a very, 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 very simple framework, but very, very complex in its simplicity, because simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So Sophia, the wisdom. So simplicity is the highest form of wisdom. So through this simplicity, it is so difficult to actually grasp. So understanding Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, Joshua, Esau, Judah's kids, like Judah also had twins, and all of these twins, all of these algorithms that are being created, is just to know life. This is life, and life is meant to be lived, and this is livity. So livity is just living life to the fullest and embracing it. However tough the day is, just count your blessings. However easy the day is, give thanks and appreciation. So this is just living life with awareness, and living it knowing that everything is created in perfect balance naturally, and this nature is replicated through so many things that are unnatural. But the true people who know the true nature, the true livity of life, are able to do righteousness, truth, justice, and all of these things, purity, harmony, tranquility. These will come through love and knowing the mating trick. So knowledge is actually love, because you can't love if you don't know. So one thing that happened in the garden is that when they ate, they were in love. That was love. Like, love starts with there, because now they had the knowledge of their mortality, that, oh no, this flesh of my flesh woman won't be there anymore. Now they have the knowledge, so now they can cherish every moment. So this comes with that duality. that binary code, and this is the algorithm of life. So just knowing this is knowing truth and knowing love. What really matters is not having wisdom and like a huge head and stuff like that. What really matters is really the simple stuff. Just love, appreciation, encouragement. Like when one person tells you something good about yourself, that will change your whole day. If one person tells you something bad about yourself, it won't change your day, it might change your life. So knowing the right words to say, this is very important, and this is the most important aspect of Livity, because everything that has life has breath or words. Everything that has life has this thought. So yeah, so understanding that the intention, the energy, the yeah, the invisible part of what we're saying is also a part of everything. So this is not, our life is just not like words only. It's also actions, it's heart, it's emotion, it's everything. So living in Livity is knowing all of this and creating your own algorithm, just like Mark Zuckerberg. Create your own algorithm, your own natural algorithm. And this is how people were living in Africa, where they invented the algorithms. So imagine what type of a computer would have if it was going to be developed within this landscape, within this frame of reference. It was going to be a very incredible one. So now we have this algorithm, and we have so many problems with it because it's really full of babble. So yeah, so just create your own algorithm by doing love and having peace, and doing the best you can every day with your entire heart, just like a lion. So yeah, live in peace and tranquility, and I'll see you soon.